We shall wait for a few more minutes. Only 4 have joined. Let us wait for a few more minutes. Others to join. Okay, ma. We shall recall we were doing when in the last class we were doing atomic size and ionic size. We were doing it. I'm ensuring. Am I audible? Is the board is clear? Anyone? Am I audible? Anyone can answer me, ma. Am I audible? Is the board clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. We were discussing the atomic size and ionic size. Let us recall till others join. Let us recall the content. When we draw a graph between atomic size and atomic number of the element of the D block elements, we find out the 3D series decreases and there is a slight increase. When we see there is slight increase, nickel decreases, then copper slight increase, zinc slight increase. We expect that zinc should be the smallest among the D block elements, but we find it out zinc is slightly bigger in size compared to the previous element. Why? Because if I see the zinc electronic configuration, it is 3D10 4:2. Is actually effective nuclear charge. When I move along the period, size of the atom decreases due to increase in effective nuclear charge. Yes, effective nuclear charge increases due to increase in the atomic number. But here, the size of the orbital becomes smaller. It could not accommodate all the 10 electrons. Interelectronic repulsion is higher. To overcome the interelectronic repulsion, the atomic size increases. So zinc is slightly larger than copper. We expect that zinc should be smaller than copper, but zinc is slightly bigger than copper. That's the one thing. Then this is 3D series. When I come to 4D series, now I have discussed along the period. Now I am discussing along group. When I move from 3D to 4D, I see a slide. I see there is an increase. Why? The number of shells increases. The number of shells increases. Effective nuclear charge decreases. Size of the atom increases. This is for 4D series. When I come for 5D series, I see that the 5D series, the size of the atomic size of the 5D series elements is almost the same as that of 4D series. I see a large increase. I expect the same increase from 4D to 5D. But when I see the graph of 5D, the 5D series is almost combining with the 4D series. Why? Because 5D series, that is the question is often asked. 5D series elements or atomic size of 5D series elements are almost the same as that of 4D series. Because of, there is only one word you can write, is because of lanthanide contraction. What is lanthanide contraction? I am repeating it. When I move along the period, the size of that is a lanthanide contraction. Why it is happening? It is because lanthanide contraction arises due to lanthanides. But if I see 5D series after lanthanum is atomic number is 52. Lanthanum atomic number is 57. 57 is lanthanum. Cerium is 58. 58 to 72 is kept down. 71 is kept down. Then after that only you have hafnium. After that only you have hafnium. Then why? Then why there is a, why you find it out that is lanthanum to the cerium to lutetium. 71 is lutetium. Then hafnium is 78. This is D block. This is D block. This is not D block. This is F block elements. It is placed below the periodic table. Because of this, we are finding out that the atomic size of 5D series is almost same as that of 4D series. Why? That only we call it as lanthanoid contraction. Here, if you see that, if you come over here, lanthanum, outer electronic configuration of lanthanum will be, what is it? It is in 3D, 4D, 5D series. Therefore, it will be 5D1, 6s2 will be there. 5D1, 6s2. When you come to cerium, the electronic configuration will be 5D1, that is 4f1, 5D1, 6s2 will be there. Then when you come over here, it is almost complete. 4f orbital is completely filled. When you come to hafnium, it is 4f14, 5D2, 6s2. This will be the electronic configuration of hafnium. So the valence electrons entering into d orbital. The valence electron is now, when I move from hafnium, the valence electron is entering into 5d orbital. 4f orbital is completely filled. Due to increase in effective, due to increase in the atomic number, the effective nuclear charge increases. Yes, it's pulling. Effective nuclear charge increases means the outer electrons are held tightly by the nucleus because it's increase in the atomic number. But here we have talking about 4f orbital. Because this orbital is completely filled. Now you are filling the electron of 5d orbital. This 4f orbital is completely filled. 4f orbital means 4 shielding. Increase in the number, if the 5f orbital, if the f orbital is completely filled, 4 shielding effect increases. 4 shielding effect increases. 4 shielding increases. Actually 4f orbital, 4f has a high 4 shielding because it is diffused, 4 shielding. When the number of electrons increases, is completely filled, shielding increases. It shields more. So d orbitals are away from the nucleus. It is not in direct attraction to the nucleus. It is there. So due to increase in nuclear charge, outer electrons are held towards the nucleus. Due to, actually we say that s orbital has high shielding effect than p, than d, than f. Shielding effect because s orbital is spherical and symmetrical. So shielding effect is more. It is not symmetrical. When the symmetry decreases, shielding effect, this is more shielded, this is less shielded. So shielding effect decreases. But if those orbitals are completely filled, shielding increases. So now effective nuclear charge pulls the electrons towards itself, and shielding effect try to move the outer electrons away from the nucleus because it shields the nucleus. So the outer electrons are held freely. So two forces are oppositely reacting. So we find out that. You expect that when I move from 4.2 to 5d, I expect there should be a large increase. Due to the shielding effect, the electrons are held tightly, so that what happens? This pulls the other side, therefore we find out that there is a decrease in the atomic size. So I can say that 5D series, 4D, 5D. 5D series, atomic size of 5D series is almost same as that of 4D series. What is called as lanthanoid contraction? Very definition. The regular decrease in the atomic size of lanthanoids with increase in atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction. If I say regular increase in the atomic size of lanthanoids, when I say lanthanoids, I am meaning of 4f orbital, 4 shielding of 4f orbital, everything come into play over there. So you need not worry about that. The regular increase in the atomic size of lanthanoids due to increase in the atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction. Due to lanthanoid contraction, 5D series of the atomic size of the 5D series elements is almost the same as that of 4D. That is one question often asked. Next we say that Hafnium, that is before hafnium you have zirconium. Before in that, this is in the 4D series you have zirconium. In the 5D series you have hafnium. Exactly down of zirconium you have hafnium. Hafnium, that hafnium size, you expect that hafnium should be larger than zirconium. But due to lanthanide contraction, hafnium is appeared to be similar as the top. Size of hafnium is almost the same as that of zirconium due to lanthanide contraction. These are the questions you are expected in atomic size. Next, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, could you please repeat that lanthanide contraction definition, ma'am?
The regular decrease in the atomic size of lanthanoids with increase in atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction.
Yes,
For example, when the lanthanoids are horizontally arranged, when I see that, you expect there should be a large increase. You are not expecting a large increase when I move along a period. Why? That we say that because of lanthanoid contraction, the atomic size of lanthanoids are almost the same. Even though they are arranged in a period, we expect that when I move from one atomic number to the atomic number along a period, there should be a large decrease I am expecting. That large decrease is not being seen. Why? With increase in atomic number, effective nuclear charge increases. But due to poor shielded d orbitals, at that time only it starts filling up in the lanthanoids. What F1, F1, F2, F3 like this will start filling up. Poor shielding is more. Since one is attracting, another is not attracting. It is there is an increase in electrons, increase in electron in the orbital shielding. What happens? Poor shielding increases. What happens? Therefore, it shields that outer electrons are held away from the nucleus. So both are opposite to each other. So you expect a decrease, but that much decrease you are not seeing. And since of lanthanide contraction, atomic size of lanthanides are almost the same size. Very minutely only they will differ, but you won't see the decrease as you see in p block elements when you move from left to right. As you see in s block elements from left to right. When you move in s block elements from left to right, you see a large decrease. Likewise in p block elements, you see a large decrease. But when you go from left to right in along the period in f block, you don't see that much decrease. Why? Due to poor shielded f orbital. Because poor shielded, in f orbital one electron gets added up. So shielding effect, what happens? It shielding effect, it has a poor shielding. Slowly shielding effect increases. Then what happens? The outer electrons are held away from the nucleus. So nuclear charge increases, it pulls electron towards itself. Shielding effect increases due to increase in the electron. So what happens? The outer electrons held away from the nucleus. Both are acting opposite to each other. So what happens? You expect a decrease, but that decrease is not being seen in lanthanoids. So we say that the regular decrease in the atomic size of lanthanoids due to increase in atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction. When I say lanthanides, I'm not telling poor shielded due to the filling of poor shielded of d orbit, f orbitals. That is statement is not required. When I say lanthanides, it's understood everything is being involved. So you write the definition like this way: the regular decrease in the atomic size of lanthanides due to increase in atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction. Clear? Shall I pass on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. This is you expecting atomic size. Next, when I talk about ionization enthalpy, you know that ionization enthalpy is the energy required to remove the outermost electron of an isolated gaseous atom. But the question in the first question you are expecting that, as from our previous knowledge, where we say that there is atomic size decreases due to increase in effective nuclear charge. So there should be a gradual increase in the ionization enthalpy when you move from scandium to zinc. That is our expectation from our previous knowledge. But the question is, so the first question being asked is, The ionization enthalpy of 3D series of transition elements are not regular. That's the first question. It is not regular. The ionization enthalpy of 3D series is not regular. We expect that scandium to zinc is a regular decrease. But lastly, we have a slight decrease. That is not matter. This decrease, therefore, we expect that ionization enthalpy should increase regularly. But we see that the ionization enthalpy of 3D series is not regular. Why? That is arises. The irregularity of a book could have been dealt as reorganization enthalpy O1 leave it that everything. The decrease in the irregularity in the ionization enthalpy of 3D series due to stability which arises due to the half-filled and completely filled orbitals. I don't know. Because if it comes to chromium, you write we write as chromium as 3d4 4s2 only we are supposed to write. Chromium manganese 3d5 4s2. This is the way it is being taught. But due to extra stability, we have seen that the electron is going with this. Similarly, in the case of copper, it has to be 3d9 4s2. But due to extra stability, it is coming as 3d10 4s1. When because of the extra stability, there is a change in the electronic configuration, then automatically what you cannot expect that the ionization enthalpy should be regular. The ionization enthalpy will be irregular only. The irregularity in the ionization enthalpy is due to attain the extra stability because of half-filled or completely filled stable configuration like 3d5 4s1, 3d10 4s1. You write down, that is enough. If you go to your book, it will deal with various things that you won't understand. Simplest way to account it. The irregularity in the ionization enthalpy of 3D series is due to extra stability that arises due to the configuration of 3d5 4s1, 3d10 4s1. That you write down. Otherwise, the question that is, if you have your book at your side, I can tell you, but I can explain you, but understand the concept. This is simply, you can say that irregularity in the ionization enthalpy of 3D series is due to extra stability that arises due to 3d5 4s1 in chromium and 3d10 4s1 in copper. Because of that, ionization enthalpy is not regular. That is enough for you. Now, otherwise, if you want to go by the book, I can say the second paragraph, you can say that irregular thread in the first ionization of 3D series is due to, they are telling that when one electron is removed from the outermost shell, there is a alteration in the energy between 3d and 4s orbital. They are telling that. Why means here when I talk about ionization enthalpy, there are not ionization enthalpy is the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron of an isolated gaseous atom. That is the thing is called as ionization enthalpy. But in 3D series, ionization enthalpy is sum of extra stability that arises. That is the exchange of energy takes place because you are moving from 4s1 3d5. This 4s1 is a lower orbital, lower energy. This is of higher energy. If I want to make it, actually we will write like this. Understand? This is of higher energy, this is of lower energy. To attain the extra stability, this electron has to move from here to here. There must be some energy required. Even though the atom uses its internal energy to bring it up, it needs some energy. That energy, stability, because of stability of energy plus ionization enthalpy plus there is another one energy involved. There is a reorganization energy arises due to the increase of electron in the d orbital. When there is a increases of the electron in the d orbital, there is another one energy increases. The sum of these three only we account as ionization enthalpy. Does all these things happens regularly in this period? No. Some are having stability, some are not going for transfer of electrons. So this you can see only in copper and chromium. Ionization enthalpy that you always see in everything, because and depends on the size, ionization enthalpy varies. Then there is a energy which arises due to the increase of electron in the d orbital. That also varies. When you sum up all these three things, then you won't have a regular. The irregularity, this we know that this is regularly increased. Then electrons in the d orbital regularly increase. So this two, sum of these two will be regularly increased. But this extra stability arises only with few elements. With few elements, because of that irregularity arises. So instead of explaining this, I will tell you that the irregularity of 3D series, ionization enthalpy of 3D series is due to extra stability that arises in chromium and copper due to 3D5 4s1, 3D10 4s2 1. The ionization enthalpy is not regular. The ionization enthalpy of 3D series is not regular due to the extra stability that arises in chromium and copper, and write down the electronic configuration. Are you clear? If you are not clear, I am ready to do it again, but understand the concept. The 3D series of ionization enthalpy is not regular. Why it is not regular? Because I told that ionization enthalpy is the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron of an isolated gaseous atom. So ionization enthalpy means the energy required to remove the electron. That is I write it as. Understand? One, this energy is involved. Understand? That is due to stability, I write it out. Then one energy arises due to the increase of electron in the d orbital. That is I write it as S2. That is I write it as E2. This E1 plus E2 will be regular. This is due to energy required to remove the electron. This is due to increase of electrons in the d orbital. Therefore, there is a regular, this will be. But this stability which arises due only in few elements, not in all elements. So, in some cases, this will get added up. So, ionization enthalpy is not regular. That's the reason. So, regularity of ionization enthalpy, either there should be a regular increase or should be a regular decrease. That's the thing. But it's not being regular increase or regular decrease. That's the meaning. Why it is so? It is because of this factor. This factor arises only in copper and chromium. So you can write it very simple. The irregularity in the ionization of 3D series is due to extra stability that arises in chromium and copper due to 3D5 4s1 and 3D10 4s1 configuration. Make it very simple. Got it or not? Then I'll go for the next one. Clear me? Clear me, I'll go ahead. Okay. Next, if they ask any question regarding ionization enthalpy, immediately check with electronic configuration. Because if they are telling some odd character, the odd character arises due to electronic configuration. That's the main reason. Go by electronic configuration. If they ask any question, why this is so means go for check out for the electronic configuration. For example, when I take chromium, I'm just explaining with chromium and manganese. Chromium, if I say it is 3D5 4s1, this is 3D5 4s2. Electronic. If I move along the period, if I see the ionization enthalpy of first ionization enthalpy, this is when I move along the period, size of the atom decreases. So you expect that first ionization enthalpy, removal of first electron. So 3D5 4s1. Here 3D5 4s1 this is the first ionization enthalpy. This first ionization, which one you are expecting should be high? We expect that from our previous knowledge, we expect when I move along the period, size of the atom decreases, effective nuclear charge increases. So this ionization enthalpy will be higher than this. Yes. First ionization enthalpy of manganese is higher than chromium. Clear? Next, second ionization enthalpy I want to remove. I am comparing between this and this. Second ionization enthalpy, it has to give 3D4. This has to come 3D5. But 3D5, when I see 3D5 is half-fill stable configuration. Half-fill stable configuration. So, removal of electron from half-fill stable configuration is very difficult. This is ready to give one electron to attain the stable configuration. So this is first. This is first. Second ionization enthalpy of which one will be greater? Chromium will be greater than manganese. Chromium is greater than manganese. If I go for 3, this will come 3d3. This will come 3d5 to 3d4. Here, then again here, then if you see the electron, if you see the ionization enthalpy, third ionization enthalpy, this is higher because it is moving from stable to unstable. Removal of electron from a stable configuration is very difficult, whereas this is ready to lose one electron. This is also stable configuration. Why? How? You can ask, that I will teach you. 3d3 also is a stable configuration, that I will tell you. Say moving of electron from here, it is ready to take place because it is ready to reduce one electron to move to 3d3. 3d3 is also stable configuration. It is moving from stable to unstable, so very difficult to remove. So third ionization enthalpy of manganese is greater than chromium. So if they ask any question regarding ionization enthalpy, you need not worry about of any element. Put the electronic configuration and check it out. Check it out. There will be, if they are moving from stable to unstable, ionization enthalpy will be higher. Unstable to stable, ionization enthalpy will be lesser. And you have to check it out. First, both are moving from unstable to unstable only. That is because if I 3d5 4s2 means this is removal of one electron, both are. But here, what I am comparing? I am comparing the size. Comparing the size. But in other cases, size doesn't work out. Then what happens? Electronic configuration also plays out. Because you might have studied last year. Ionization enthalpy not only depends upon the size, it also depends upon the stability of the electronic configuration too. So that also you have to check it out. So if there are some, they are giving some odd questions regarding ionization enthalpy, immediately you check with your ionization electronic configuration. There is a question. Second ionization enthalpy of zinc is very, very high. Why? Zinc 3d10 4s2. Second ionization enthalpy. So first one you are removing. First ionization enthalpy means 3d1. Third ionization enthalpy. First one you are removing. Then 3d10 4s1. First ionization. Second ionization enthalpy will be 3d10. Understand? Third ionization enthalpy of zinc is very, very, very high. So only zinc doesn't go for zinc 3 plus. It always remains as zinc 2 plus. So only you can have maximum oxidation state of zinc is plus 2. Because the third ionization, the 3d10 configuration, removal of electron from 3d configuration is very, very difficult. So third ionization enthalpy of zinc is very, very, very high. So it doesn't go for Zn3 plus. So the maximum oxidation state of the zinc is plus 2 because stable 3-dead configuration. So if they ask any question regarding that, please check with the electronic configuration. That only I could say. Next, I was telling 3d3 is also stable, I told. But this we will teach in coordination compounds, but I will give you a gist of it. But actually, D block elements mostly involved in coordination compounds. D block elements, if you see that, if they are involved in most of the coordination compounds. But D orbitals are involved in the bond formation in D block elements. But when the anion, before the anion reaches the metal atom to form the bond, all the D orbitals are degenerate. Degenerate means they are of same energy. They are of same energy. But when the D orbital, when the anion approaches the D block elements very near to it, we know that this also have electron, this also have electron. Only at a certain distance, the repulsion will be lesser. When they come closer, repulsion will dominate both the electrons and both the nucleus, but similar charges, repulsion will dominate. When the repulsion starts, the dominant, I will not say, at a particular distance when they come, repulsion also plays a vital role. When they are far away, both repulsion and attraction will be very less. When they come closer, both the things will play. But when most of the case, because electron rich center, so repulsion will be more. So all the D orbitals will rise in energy. Once they involve in bond formation, once they come closer to form bond formation, this 5d orbitals splits into 3 and D. This we call it as T2G. This we call as EG. The 5d orbitals, once the anion comes in bond formation, this totally splits into 2, 3 and 2. Why it splits up? Because of the orientation of the d orbitals. The anion is coming along with the direction of the d orbitals, means both are in the same axis, means repulsion will be more. If the anion is coming in different, it is not along the axis, means the orbitals which are not along the axis will experience lower repulsion, so energy will be lesser for them. Can you understand? In d orbital, there are how many d orbitals? 5d orbitals. dx square minus y square, dz square, dxy, dxz, dyz. These are the things. All these three have the orbitals in between the axis. These two are having the orbitals along the axis. When the anion comes along the axis, these two orbitals will experience more repulsion, the energy will be increased. When these orbitals, anion is coming along the axis, these orbitals are having in between the axis, and repulsion will be lesser, so energy will be reduced. But if the anion is coming not along the axis, then not along this two energy will be, these two orbitals will become lower in energy. These three orbitals will come increase in energy. In chromium, this is the possibility. Why? We shall discuss in coordination compounds. In chromium alone we will talk about T2G. Chromium alone we will be talking about T2G. Chromium shows only this way that splitting will happen. Because chromium complex are mostly of octahedral complexes. Chromium will be always of +6 oxidation state. That is mostly of coordination compounds will be of octahedral complex. This is the case, the anion will come only along the axis. So this will be increase in energy, this will be decrease in energy. So when we filling up the electrons, you will follow your Hund's rule. What is the Hund's rule? Tells you that electrons should be, pairing is not possible unless all the orbitals of the given substrate contain 1 electron each. Chromium 1, 2, 3. Understand? 3. When I say half tilde, so only see, if I say 3d3, we write it as 3d3 as half-filled T2G configuration we are talking about. 3d3 if it comes means you are supposed to write as half-filled T2G configuration. Ma'am, you might be telling, ma'am, D5 only half-filled. Yes, D5 is also half-filled. D3 is also half-filled. This D3, this type of configuration is possible. This type is being possible only in D block. Only in D block. That is especially this is for chromium, vanadium only we will be talking about. Because in other elements, the number of electrons becomes more than 3. So that things you will not see. Chromium, vanadium, only we can see this. So D3 is also a stable configuration. D3 means you should not write D3. D3 is half-filled stable T2G configuration. Otherwise, you can write D3 is nothing but T2G3 stable configuration, like this you can say, because number of electrons, the number of electrons you write it as a superscript. Clear? Shall I pass on? Give you a response, then only I can go ahead, because this will take time, D block elements, because all our statement questions only you will get it. If once you are clear with that particular statement, scoring of D and F block is very easy. Then important parts are everything they deleted. Most of the chemical reactions which is being often asked question are mostly deleted. So if they have so far if you see the board examination, KMNO4 preparation, potassium dichromate preparation, that redox reactions questions will be asked. There is no question paper without those questions. Now those parts is being deleted. When those parts are deleted, means if they want to concentrate, means they can concentrate only in this statement questions. So be clear. If you are clear, then I will go ahead. One of you respond. There are people of 15 students are there. If you are clear or not. D3 is nothing but T2G configuration, half unstable configuration. No responsible, sorry, go ahead. That's all, no problem. It's up to you. The ball is in your court. The way you play, success is yours. Next. So T2G, I want, for example, if I want to take scandium, titanium, vanadium. I take vanadium, chromium. Vanadium is chromium is you write it as 3d5 4s1. This you will write it as 3d3 4s2. Understand or not? If I take the first electronic configuration, first means this is 3d5. This is will be 3d3 4s1. 3d3 4s1. See here. This one, I'm not, this is moving from 3d5 configuration. Again, I say the first ionization enthalpy of chromium will be greater than vanadium. Why? Because when I move along the period, size of the atom decreases. So chromium has high ionization enthalpy than vanadium. When I talk about the second one, it is moving from stable to unstable. Whereas this is from unstable to stable. Why? 3d3. 3d3 is stable. T2G configuration. So, second ionization enthalpy of vanadium will be greater than, second ionization enthalpy of, chromium will be greater than vanadium. Because it's moving from stable to unstable, very large amount of energy. Here, unstable, because 3d3 4s1 is ready to lose one electron to attain the stable 3d3 configuration. Once it is removed, it will be 3d4. The third ionization enthalpy of vanadium will be greater than chromium. Third ionization enthalpy of vanadium will be greater than chromium. This is your expect. It is moving from 3d3. Understand? But in some places, you cannot expect it. Everywhere you cannot account it. Because why? I'm telling you, I told this configuration with that vanadium will be greater than chromium. It is moving from stable to unstable. If you see the electronic content, 283, 2990, almost the same. Almost the same. Understand? That is the reason because of this. Why? Again, I will account it. Everywhere you cannot check out the values. Why? Ionization enthalpy not only depends upon only on electronic configuration. It also depends upon effective nuclear charge, electronic configuration. Everything is combinedly only it is being asked. So, if any one predominates, then the value will show a sharp increase. Only that odd character will be question will be asked. When the odd question is being asked, check out with the electronic configuration. That is the thing I think. If there is a regular increase or decrease, there is no problem. That only we like to say that. Understood or not? If they ask a question, if there are different questions are being there, you check it out. Check out with the electronic configuration. Next is oxidation state. What is oxidation state? Is the charge carried by the atom in that particular compound is called as oxidation state. If I take scandium, scandium shows only one oxidation state, that is +3. And if I take scandium, titanium shows +2, +2, +3, +4. And the stable is +4. If you see your book, it would have been given. The bold letters are the highest stable oxidation state. If I take vanadium shows +2, +3, +4, and +5. Likewise, the stability, we can say that the number of oxidation state of the element increases from scandium to manganese, I can say. Why? Scandium, there is only 1 electrons in the d orbital. If a titanium, 2 electrons, vanadium 3, chromium 4, manganese 5. So the number of electrons in the d orbital, the unpaired electrons in the d orbital increases. So the number of oxidation state of these elements increases. Scandium shows only 1 oxidation state, whereas titanium shows 3, vanadium 4, chromium 5. When the manganese shows 7 oxidation states, +2, +3, +4, +5, +6, and +7. Whereas highest oxidation state is shown by manganese. That is another question. The highest number of oxidation states shown by manganese because the maximum number of unpaired electrons in the d orbital. 3d5 4s2. maximum number of unpaired electrons in the d orbital. So manganese shows highest number of oxidation state. So I can say from scandium to manganese, the number of oxidation state possessed by the element increases. Why? Increase in the number of unpaired electrons in the d orbital. Since there is an increase in the number of electrons in the d orbital, number of oxidation state of these elements increases. Manganese shows maximum number of oxidation state. Why? Manganese has maximum number of unpaired electrons in the d orbital. After manganese, if you see that, if it is manganese, after manganese, you are getting iron. Iron shows +3, +4, +2, +3 is known to us, but it shows also +4 and +6 also it shows. Cobalt, we know of +2, +3 is very common in coordination compound, and sometimes it shows +4. Nickel, +2 is the common thing that you know, +3, +4 also it shows. Copper, we know that is +1 and +2. Zinc is +2. When I move from iron to zinc, the number of oxidation state decreases. Why? Because number of unpaired electrons in the d orbital decreases. Because 3d, 5 means what you will do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then after 6, the iron 6, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, then zinc. As the number of electrons in the d orbital gets paired up, so the number of unpaired electrons decreases, so the number of oxidation state decreases. These are the 3 questions you can expect. The other 2 common questions are often asked that we have already discussed. Higher oxidation state of the elements are more acidic or more covalent than the element of lower oxidation state. That is the one question being often asked. Next is, that the same question can be asked as elements of higher oxidation state are more covalent and elements of lower oxidations are more ionic. That way also question will be asked. Because then you can talk about in terms of higher oxidation state, greater tendency to accept the electron, they are more acidic. Lesser oxidation state means less acidic, therefore more ionic issues. That's the question often asked. Next is, when the metal is bonded to carbon monoxide, when the metal is bonded to carbon monoxide, then the oxidation state of the metal will be 0. That you should keep in mind. When the metal is bonded to carbon monoxide, any metal, whatever may be the metal when it's bonded to carbon monoxide, the oxidation state of the metal will be 0. The oxidation state of the metal will be 0. For example, if I take FeCO5, nickel, you might have studied already nickel. The oxidation state of these metals are 0. Whatever may be the metal, when the metal is bonded to carbon monoxide, the metal is said to be in 0 oxidation state. These are the, then when the metal is bonded to carbon monoxide, the compound formed is highly stable. That is due to pi bond formation that you will study in your coordination compounds. That we immediately will study next week, so that you don't have a problem. It is due to formation of strong bond between carbon monoxide and iron. The compound formed is highly stable. If we talk about any coordination compounds, any compound being formed by d block elements, when it's formed by CO, the compound formed is highly stable, very highly stable. And is of 0 oxidation state. Name a transition element which does not exhibit variable oxidation state. The question will be, don't get zinc. Zinc also shows +2. Scandium also shows only 1 oxidation state. Which transition element shows only 1 oxidation state? Only scandium. Don't take zinc. Zinc is a D block, but not a transition element. The definition you should remember. Zinc is a D block element, but it's not a transition element. So which is the element which shows only 1 oxidation state? Is only scandium. Next is trending. This I want you to recall. It takes time. I will just take it out. You have to keep in mind. We shall just recall your electrochemistry. We are talking about M2 plus bar M. It's nothing but reduction potential of +2 state. When we draw the graph of this E0 value of M2 plus bar M, atomic number, we see a increase. This increase till this is for chromium, then manganese, then you see sharp increase. If I take this is 0, this is for copper. This is for copper. I can say this is till chromium. There is a E0 value of M2 plus bar M increases till chromium. Why? E0 value increases. If I talk about whether it is negative or positive, till here, this till below this value is negative. It's negative. But when I move from here to here, I see a slight increase. When I compare this element and this element, this has low E0 value. This element is having high E0 value. High E0 value means then it acts as a very good oxidizing agent. Low E0 value means it acts as a very good reducing agent. When I compare these two, chromium is acting as a very good oxidizing agent, whereas this is acting as a very good reducing agent. When there is an increase in the number of electrons in the d orbital, losing all the 3 electrons will be very difficult. Because 3D, this way if I talk about chromium, it will be a 3D4. If I take this configuration, chromium, E0 of Cr2 plus bar Cr means what happens? Cr2 plus which configuration? Cr2 plus Cr. Cr is 3D5, 4s1. It is 3D4. 3D4. If I take this one, which is scandium, scandium is 3D1, 4s2. Scandium 2 plus means is 3D2. So which is ready to lose? Which is ready? This is if I take scandium, scandium is ready to lose 2 electrons. Whereas chromium is finding out very difficult to lose electrons because size of chromium is smaller, effective nuclear charge is higher. Losing of 2 electrons is very difficult for chromium compared to that of scandium. Scandium is larger in size. So in that case, scandium is act as a very good reducing agent rather compared to that of chromium if I compare these two. If I compare chromium and manganese, compared to chromium E0 value is higher, manganese E0 value is lesser. Why? Understand? I am comparing that. Then if I take up manganese, it is 3D5, 4s2. If I take chromium, it is 3D5, 4s1. Cr2 plus means 3D4. It means 3D5. More stable configuration. It is not stable. So I am not touching it. Manganese is ready to lose 2 electrons to attain the stable defect configuration. So it is ready to lose electron. So manganese E0 value is lesser because when I compare this is value is higher, this value is lesser. It acts as a very good reducing agent. This acts as a very good oxidizing when I compare these two. So ready to lose, reducing agent means ready to lose electron. Why they are ready to lose electron? Because they are ready to lose electron to attain the stable configuration. When I compare, ma'am, this is a stable configuration. Why they want that? It's not like that. When I compare this, they are moving from unstable. If I want to, always you cannot compare only with the electronic configuration. When I talk about a chemical reaction, there are various other factors also play that is not being highlighted because minute factors also there. You are concentrated here in your chapter only the main factors. So it doesn't mean that only these alone is determining the E0 value. Don't think so. Understand? So, ma'am, it is there. So why it is going? Don't ask such a question because it is not that only 2 factors alone. There are various other simple factors also playing. That value also smallly occurs, but since it is not being highlighted for your level, so they have taken only the important thing. But if you go into detail, you will come to know there are various other factors are involved. So just like that, you cannot post the question. See, when I come, I'm not comparing any other thing. I'm comparing chromium and after chromium, manganese comes. Manganese is smaller in size compared to the smallest. So I expect that manganese E0 value should be more higher. But we find it out that E0 value of manganese is lesser than chromium. Why? It's ready to lose electrons to attain a stable defect configuration. So Mn value is lesser than chromium. Clear? When I come from manganese to these here, they are accounting that this 3 together only I can account. Because when we talk about these everything, we cannot talk in terms of electronic configuration. After manganese, the size of the atom becomes smaller. There is one more factor plays a vital role. It's called as hydration enthalpy. It becomes hydration enthalpy. What is hydration enthalpy? When these ions are formed in the solution, what happens? The water molecules get surrounded. The ions get hydrated. When the ions get hydrated, the energy will be given off. That we call as hydration enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy will be always negative. Hydration enthalpy is always negative. So that also plays a vital role when you come over here. That is not a vital role when you come over here. So when you come from, you can say that nickel, cobalt, iron have low E0 value. Why? Because of why E0 value is lesser? Because hydration enthalpy also plays a vital role. Here, this is the reason for that I can say. When I come over to copper, copper E0 value is highly positive. Among the D block elements, E0 value of copper alone is positive. Why? When I talk about E0 value, you might have studied already. E0 value is sum of sublimation enthalpy, ionization enthalpy plus hydration enthalpy. Understand? This all the three only accounts for E0 value. Sublimation enthalpy, ionization enthalpy, hydration enthalpy. Sublimation enthalpy is endothermic, ionization enthalpy is endothermic, but it is exothermic. Copper is almost end of the 3D series. Size of the atom is copper is very small. Very small. And it gets more hydrated. It gives more hydration enthalpy. Here also I can account. I can compare this with this. This with it. They also shows all these three. Sublimation enthalpy, ionization enthalpy, hydration enthalpy. Copper being very smaller compared to this. So copper hydration enthalpy should be higher than this. So, but even though higher, simultaneously this is also become higher because sublimation size becomes more, effective nuclear charge increases. So this also becomes higher. So this given energy is not able to compensate these two. So it is overall value is positive. Whereas for these compounds, this is lesser, this over, so predominance. So this compensates these two values. So E0 value for this is negative. I am accounting for E0 value of low for manganese based on the electronic configuration. I am accounting for these low E0 values due to high hydration enthalpy. Because they show more hydration compared to that of manganese. Here that also plays a predominant role. Here that hydration enthalpy doesn't play a predominant role. So this also accounts. And sum of these three, the value E0 value is negative. But when I compare copper, again you can ask me the question, ma'am, copper at the last size smaller, higher. Yes, I accept it. But this too also becomes higher. Now, higher word doesn't work out. Now the data works out. This is also higher. But when I sum up, it comes to be E0 value is positive. What does it mean? This value of negative alone cannot compensate this sum of this to positive value. So E0 value of copper, Cu2 plus bar, Cu is positive. You have to write. The question will be asked. E0 of Cu2 plus bar, Cu is positive. Why? E0 value is calculated from sum of sublimation enthalpy, ionization enthalpy, and hydration enthalpy. Sublimation ionization enthalpy of endothermic, hydration enthalpy is exothermic. Hydration enthalpy could not compensate the sum of sublimation enthalpy and ionization enthalpy in copper. So E0 value of Cu2 plus by Cu is positive. Are you clear? Are you clear? Because that is an often asked question. If you understand this, there is one more thing. Metal 3 plus bar, metal 2 plus. That I need not teach you. You yourself will account on your own. Because don't expect the question will be asked. If you are understanding this in a better way, then any metal, any oxidation state, you can account on your own. This to this. Question is be not asked, but I am making you to understand. When E naught value is positive, when E naught value is higher than the other value, then it acts as a very good oxidizing agent. The one E naught value is less means it acts as a reducing agent. Amma, CBSE talks only of reduction potential because E naught 2 plus bar B means what happened? It gets reduced. So E naught value is a reduction potential. What CBSE talks only in terms of reduction potential. But your competitive exam talks about both NEET and IIT, both will talk about either oxidation potential or reduction potential. It is not that they will talk only in terms of reduction potential. So whether it is reduction potential or oxidation potential, you have to check with that. But CBSE, those who are dealing only CBSE, yes, no need to worry. They are dealing only with reduction potential. அப்ப இது என்ன reduction potential higher இருந்தா it acts as a very good oxidizing agent. Reduction potential கம்மியா இருந்தா they act as a very good reducing agent. Reducing agent என்ன இது என்ன ஆகுது low value, this is higher value. ஏன்னா E naught value என்ன ஆகுது இப்படிதான் எனர்ஜி இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுது. அப்ப இதோட வேல்யூ வந்து என்ன ஆகுது இது higher value. அப்ப it acts as a very good oxidizing agent. When I compare these two, this is ready to lose electron, this is ready to accept the electron. That's all. We cannot talk in terms of always the electronic configuration. Yes, size only plays a vital role. This compare panna, again you will ask, man, this is smaller in size. Size yes, size I know very well. But we have already seen that ionization enthalpy not only depends upon the size and also on the electronic configuration. The electronic configuration is moving from unstable to stable, ready to lose electron. Here, that is not the case. So when I compare these two, this is ready to lose electron. It is not ready to lose electron. This is acting as a reducing agent. This acts as a oxidizing agent. In the range now, E naught it is in the solution. If it is in the metallic state, not in the aqueous form, then electronic configuration and ionization enthalpy only I will talk into the atomic size and electronic configuration alone I talking for ionization enthalpy. This is the solution. This E naught value always talk in terms of aqueous form. When I put in water, one more factor also plays a vital role. That is nothing but hydration enthalpy. This hydration enthalpy hydration enthalpy is very less plays a vital role. That matter. When I come over here, hydration enthalpy predominance. Predominantly, equally contributes. Where in this case, data wise, if I see that all are showing negative, why? Why they are showing negative? And these two are positive, but they are showing overall values negative. Understood that hydration enthalpy is more negative, which compensates the other two sum of the value. So only E naught value is negative. And copper E naught value is positive. Yeah, this value, however, we know that copper end ionization enthalpy, the size so smaller. Effective nuclear charge Effective nuclear charge higher means it shows ionization enthalpy also should be higher. I expect, we know that. But in spite of that, smaller, more hydrated, hydration enthalpy is also higher. But data wise, if you see that, we find out is positive. What do you understand? This negative value could not compensate the sum of these two values. So E naught value of Cu2 plus bar Cu is positive. Zinc, yeah, because E2 plus that is, it has to lose 2 electrons. Zinc is ready to lose 2 electrons to attain a D10 stable configuration. Again, when I talk about zinc, I am talking in terms of electronic configuration. I am not talking in terms of ionization, in terms of hydration enthalpy. If I talk also, the value will be negative only. The value will be negative only. Now, zinc last ma'am, copper, zinc. Whatever the factor plays for copper, zinc also will play. Yes, it will play. Ionization enthalpy, sublimation enthalpy, hydration enthalpy. Zinc more smaller, more hydration enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy is more stable configuration. Energy less. Overall, E naught value becomes more negative. Hydration enthalpy effect. We are talking about electronic configuration. Now that predominance, hydration enthalpy, that comes later. There are various other factors also, but that is not being exhibited. That is the thing. Clear or not? If you are clear, then I will go with further things. Then later, because time up, we shall end up with this and we shall go with the next thing in the next class. Are you clear or not? If you are clear, then the next the concept will be very easy for you. You can easily afford it. Clear? Nobody is answering me. Clear or not? Okay. Are you clear or not? If you are not clear, if you ask me, I will clarify it and I'll move on. We can wind up the class also, no problem. It is 8 o'clock. Some are already left it. If you want, we can leave also. If you have a doubt, I'll clarify the doubt and leave the class. Aditi Kannan, you have unmuted, but I'm not able to hear you.
Understood.
Understood, yes. If you understood means we shall leave the class now. We shall continue in the next class, no problem, because already 3 people are left it. Okay, thank you. Take care. We shall meet on Wednesday and we shall do the other things remaining. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.